Okay. Before I even get into anything, there's two things that I definitely want to say before we start. One, I'm in a place that doesn't have the greatest internet because it's out in the country. So if I lag, I'm very sorry. Also, there's a very good chance that YouTube will stop the stream somewhere along the lines. So hopefully that doesn't happen. YouTube has been acting really funny, especially with now that there's two people in here. YouTube can very likely just stop the live stream at any time because they think that anything that's going on in a live stream could be considered copyright. So if that happens, I'm so sorry. That is not me cutting off the stream. That's not my internet. It's just YouTube has been taking down live streams like crazy. So I'm so sorry if that happens. But I'm going to try to keep as much content copyright free. So I'm not going to be reading the chapter. I'm just going to be going over what happens in the chapter and my thoughts on it. So I hope you guys are okay with that. I can't do anything about this. How's my night going? It's going okay. I'm losing track of the days for sure. I don't know how you guys are doing. Like, I feel like I'm just kind of in this weird daze lately. I used to think I was a hermit, and now I kind of realize that I would go out more than I thought, if that makes sense. So I'm just kind of trying to hang in there. Hope you guys are doing okay. Let me know how you guys are doing. But getting into the chapter, I really like these little Pinot analysis in the very beginning. I know it's kind of pointless, but at the same time, it adds some character to the characters. And I guess it's just a goofy way to start off each chapter, even though we're diving into some pretty serious things and some really big plot points. To start off the chapter with something goofy is kind of refreshing and kind of gives us a breather because this is very much different than Fairy Tale or Rave Master. It's a lot darker than those two already. So I'm glad that we have something to keep us a little bit uplifted. Now, my biggest thing from this chapter is who the hell is Drakken Joe? You know what I mean? Undead Joe. Like, my theory about that is where does it come from? Kind of like Orochimaru in Naruto. Like, he must be doing something to keep himself alive, right? And if any of you guys have watched Naruto, like in Orochimaru's lair, like he has like these chambers that are filled with water, and he do experiments on people on try to figure out how they can last forever or be undead. And I'm wondering because they do show him in water in this panel on the second page, if there's something along the lines of like he has to be submerged in water or something to like rejuvenate or I don't know. I don't know. There's so many more questions. I feel like every chapter that we read, we're waiting for more answers, but then we get more questions, if that makes sense. Let me know your guys' theories on this because obviously later in the chapter they mentioned that we already know his weakness. So I'm kind of like, where did I miss it, you know? Do you think another Rastion Stace has something to do with his undead powers? I don't know. Like, that's the thing, like, there's so many possibilities of what it could be, but then, like, there's so much uncertainty too, because I feel like if we did get any hints, they were very subtle hints. Like, it wasn't even like a, "Oh, that can make sense." Like, I feel like it was a mention in a conversation or something along the lines of and I can't even, like usually I have, like, theories, and I can't even think of anything for this, so do you think the another Rashion stays? I mean, maybe, but if that were the case, do you think that person would be known for that and it be more apparent as to why he's undead? I don't know, I just wanna know why he's in this chamber. Hopefully, the live stream doesn't cut off because of this. I wanna know why he's in a chamber like that, and now I'm super blurry, sorry about that. Um, I know a lot of manga and shonen use that kind of oh god, I hope the stream doesn't cut off because it was doing the little loading bar. Okay. I know they use stuff like that a lot to, like, replenish and rejuvenate characters, so I'm wondering who's, you know sorry, there's, like, noises coming from over there. Whose idea was this? Like, how does he do this exactly? And I hope we get answers soon, but I feel like we might not get answers for a while, which really sucks. Now, what do you guys think of Master Noah? Because where we left off last chapter in the last panel where he's kind of, like, giving the smug look to Shiki, it looked like like he's kind of like two-faced. Like he's putting on a front to make it seem like he's a good guy, but then the way he looked at Shiki was so much more like evil and untrustworthy, and I just don't know what to think of him because in this chapters it looks like Master Noah is genuinely like trying to help, but we don't know what his intentions are because he says that if he die or if she doesn't stop Drakken Joe, he's gonna die. So we don't know if he's doing it for his own selfish reasons, but at the same time, he says that Blue Garden will die as well. So I don't know, like what there's so many questions about him and Drakken Joe. Like the eyes of God, like do you guys think he's some kind of like celestial being, you know? Because if he's tied to Blue Garden, that means that he might be like part of it, not like an actual person. Noah just wants to get out of debt. That honestly could be the case, and I might be just over analyzing everything, to be honest with you. I'm just wondering what the point of adding in the if he dies, Blue Garden will die as well. You know what I mean? That makes it seem like he's more tied to that planet than just a normal like ruler. Unless he really thinks that nothing can function without him, in which case, wow, that's conceited as fuck, honestly. Um, so I just don't know. And then what's his relation to Rebecca, you know, or maybe them in general, but I feel like he might have a relation to her because when she asks like who he was, he's like, I'm, and then it cuts out and it's just like, I don't know, it makes me think that somewhere along the lines, like he's connected to them more than they know. And that really bugs me because I just have so many questions that I want answered, you know? But I guess here Mashima's doing a good job of keeping us interested, which is really cool. That's all we could really want from him, I guess. But it's frustrating, but it also keeps me going in the story, like how many questions I have and how many answers I want. Um, Going back to his weakness, I'm kind of flipping through the chapter. Sorry if this is all over the place. What do you guys think his weakness is? Because we had to have come across it while we were in World 29, and I can't seem to think of it. Like I've been going back in my head, and I'm like, okay, I had like some interactions with him, but I just can't think of what his weakness was. No matter how hard I try, I remember him in the bath and like that was kind of weird why he was in the bath. I mean, that was even in her flashback. She was like remembering all of the things and I can't remember what it was. And maybe it's like something really subtle and something you wouldn't necessarily think is a weakness, but it is. I don't know. Please let me know if you guys have any theories about what his weaknesses are, considering we have to know what it is. We just can't put two and two together. So please let me know if you guys have anything that you guys think it is. Um do, 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 do. Yeah, because they flash back to just her in the room and I can't think of it. Hmm. Do you guys think it has something to thank you. Um, do you guys think it might have something to do with Happy and Pino? You know, because he separated Rebecca from them very early on and he just threw them away. Like, you know what I mean? And I don't know, maybe it has something to do with Pino. Um, no, but maybe he might have killed her instead. I don't know. I'm trying so hard to think of anything and I just can't. But getting to the actual main part of this chapter, it's Hermit. And I can't not say how much I love this fight. It's Hermit and Fi or Fi. I'm gonna say Fi because it sounds more like fire, but I could be completely wrong. Please correct me which translation it is because I really want to get this right. But if there's one thing that Hiramashima does so well, it's fire. So seeing this guy fight is just reminding me of Natsu, and even though he's completely different, he does fire so well, like and like drawing wise that it's just so entertaining to watch. And so his fight with Hermit was pretty interesting in the fact that you kind of didn't know which way the fight was going to go because there were times where he seemed like he was overwhelming Hermit, but towards the end we see that she was just too equipped for him. So he tries to snipe her again, which by the way, was anyone a little disappointed with how like full of himself he was because he said like, "Oh, no one ever knows like where the sniper is going to shoot from." But like literally, if I were in her situation and there was a building right next to me with a bunch of windows, I'd kind of think like, "Hey, maybe in that building." You know what I mean? Um, hold on. From the encounter with Hacker Spider, we have he has a drink near him or takes a drink. He does it after Hacker Spider dies, and when Rebecca wakes up in his room after his shower. So do you think it has something to do with like the drink? Like it's something that he has to constantly take all the time to be able to? Or do you think he might have like I don't know, like maybe that's keeping him alive. I don't know. That's so interesting that you caught that because I honestly did not. Because a lot of villains are like so smug and they'll just be like taking, you know what I mean? Like it's something so mundane, but I'm so happy that you like caught that. That's so cool. Honestly might have something to do with that. And if it does, that's amazing that you caught that. So, like, honestly. But, anyways, getting back to that, like, yeah, there's like a huge skyscraper next to her with a bunch of windows. And he's like, yeah, no one's ever going to know where I am. But it is really cool that she has heat signatures, and that is so true. Like, obviously, he has like fire like coming from him. So, if she didn't sense that, that'd be kind of dumb. And the way she reassembles herself behind him was sick. I think that was so cool. When I think of Hermit, I think of someone who's a lot more chill than the rest of the androids on Eden Zero, but watching her fight in this was so much cooler than the other ones, I think, because she had this kind of um entrance to the story that was a lot more sad and like weak and little like humble than the rest of them. And so to see her really go for it in this fight and let loose and show us like how strong she actually is really, really cool. And I think that Hiramashima giving a lot of time to female characters, and I know how that sounds. A lot of people get a little agitated when I say that, but I mean, I'm a girl, and seeing girls being represented like as strong characters and not side characters really is a nice thing. I hope you guys can agree with me on that. I'm not trying to sound like like a feminist warrior or anything, but it is good to see them be strong. Another comment, it might be an elixir or something like that. I was going through chapters since number 29 and noticed it. Yeah, I definitely think that if that's the case, it's an elixir of some sort that's either keeping him alive, maybe he's like sick or something and he needs it to like keep himself alive at the same time it like makes him immortal, or it might just be something that if he constantly takes, he will be like immortal, like it prolongs his life. So I don't know. That would I'm like really hyped to know if it's that or not. Du- 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 Yeah, otherwise Hermit's fight with him is just really cool. The way she dodges the sniper bullet was sick. Like how fast she had to be able to do that is ridiculous. And then her turning his own guns against him and her kind of floating in the background like digitally. That was a great panel. I don't know if I can show it to you guys. It might get blurry again. But oof. Like these panels, this is what I'm talking about. These are my favorite in this chapter. There's something about it that is intimidating, really cool, and just aesthetically pleasing to the eye. Seeing her form behind him was best, and I think this does so much for her character overall. And I was just really impressed with her. And then her last line saying, "I can be kind to you because I know pain. That is the way of my heart," was like that's all she needed to say because she coated the bullets with like ether so he wouldn't necessarily die, but he'd be like severely wounded. So I think late with these chapters, what they serve to do is give more character development to the androids and side characters like Hamura, and I'm guessing we're gonna get a chapter with Whis pretty soon. So I'm not mad at that, but at the same time, like I want them to continue with the main story and like Rebecca and Shiki because I have so many questions, but I totally understand that we need that character development from the side characters, or else it's not gonna the story isn't going to be able to withstand time if we don't have a strong foundation with all of the characters. So I totally get it. And I'm here for it because the fights with them and them just kind of getting their time is really good. So I have no complaints. If I was going to rate this chapter, I'd probably give it a 5 star because it was that good, but I have so many questions, and I've probably said that 100 times in this live stream. But other than that, that's pretty much all I have to say about this chapter. I'm so glad that we got some theories going in the comment section. Please let me know anything you guys think in the comment section below. This will be posted to my main channel, so you guys have the opportunity to post stuff there. And I hope you guys are all doing well and staying healthy, because this virus, this whole thing is like crazy. Um every like my town or my area has like 200 cases now, and I'm like, because I have a lot of people that are at risk at home. So please stay home and just kind of relax, and just to take care of people that, are more at risk than you. We have another comment in chapter 82. He asks about the medicine sister made and says it like this: medicine, and crushes it and laughs after doing it. Maybe it has an elixir. He views other medicine as a waste of time. Or he's just being a douche at that part. I think it might be a mixture of both, honestly. Maybe he has well, yeah, because he's considered the alchemist, right? So maybe he has like created something that's like so top tier that everything else is just like a weakling's attempt at the elixir. That would make so much more sense as to why he's called the alchemist. Because when I think of alchemy, I think of like, because I play Skyrim, I think of like making potions, putting a bunch of shit together and making like this wider range of potions. I wasn't thinking of like changing the physical properties of things. That didn't make any sense to me. But if he's an alchemist and he's making elixirs that keep him alive, that would make so much more sense. And I think you're definitely onto something when it comes to that. I didn't even paint. You catch things, dude. Like, that's crazy. You're so good at this. I didn't even think of that. I think he was definitely being a douche and smug at the same time about it. Like, like you think your medicine shit. Mm, that's crazy. I wonder, do you guys think that elixir might come into play? Like, if somebody were to get fatally wounded later on in the story, they might use it on somebody, like, in the story. That always seems to happen. Like, we always get close to death with someone, and then all of a sudden there's this cure. So I'm wondering if that's gonna come into play too for Shiki or anybody else. Also with what you said, he may have already cured, right, Sylph, Colleen, and getting Jean on Eden's crew may be harder than originally thought. Maybe. Maybe he has, like, an elixir that I don't know, 'cause she just seems out of it. Like, have you guys seen the way she looks? Like, Sylph, or is it Clean? Colleen? Um, she's, Jean's sister. So, she just looks off. Like, she doesn't look like she's all there. I'm wondering if it's an elixir that, like, messes with her head, or maybe I just don't know. You could be completely right. Maybe he I don't know. I don't know. There's so many questions. Maybe he did cure her, but I feel like that would have been a bigger thing, because I haven't seen a change in her since, I haven't seen a change in her at all. But maybe he has the cure for her, and that's why Jean and is working for him, you know what I mean? Like, he's waiting for it, but he knows in his heart it's not gonna happen, so he was looking elsewhere for cures, if that makes sense. But I feel like we're barely scratching the surface when it comes to Drakken Joe. I feel like he might be doing a lot of, like, really twisted stuff behind the scenes, and, I'm really kind of looking forward to seeing the alchemy portion of him, because I just feel like somewhere in his lair there's like this weird dark area with like potions and like weird stuff. You know what I mean? Something you wouldn't necessarily expect from like a brute man, but like him just being in like a laboratory with a bunch of like ingredients and stuff like that, and like testing on people and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't know. Something about him just weirds me out and freaks me out so much, other than his name. His name doesn't intimidate me at all. But I feel like we're barely scratching the surface with him, and I cannot wait to see what he actually is, because I don't know. And then the sad part is that he's on the level of the Irashion Sei. So there's 5 more people that are like him, 5 more people that are just as strong and powerful. So that's just scary. So I feel like the story is kind of far from over, but there's already so much going on. I think Hiro Mashima is doing a really great job with this story. I think more so than Fairy Tail. Fairy Tail will always have a place in my heart, but I feel like Eden Zero, the construction and world building and character building is already much higher, and that's because now he's had practice with Rave Master, with Fairy Tale, and building all of those worlds. So now he's putting all of that practice into this story, which is really, really cool. So with that being said, I'm gonna end the stream before it cancels. I'm like really hoping to God it doesn't cancel soon. So I'm gonna end the stream. Again, I hope you guys are staying so safe. Please comment anything you guys would like to comment down below. After this goes back to my main channel. I do respond to every single comment, so please leave any theories down below because I'm so excited, and you guys are really brilliant when it comes to creating theories or noticing things. Sometimes I'm just trying to film videos and I kind of miss things, things that I would have caught if I was slowly reading and going back. But sometimes I just try to make a video and I kind of miss things. So please, if I missed anything, please let me know. Stay safe, stay calm, stay rested, and I will see you guys in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.